All right, welcome to the premiere worldwide debut on YouTube of Easy Street, coming to you from deep in the heart of Lad City. So, just a little explainer for anybody that is watching on YouTube and hasn't come over into Lad City. That is our Discord server. We're building Lad cities throughout the metaverse. We have a lot of great content around crypto, NFTs. I like to focus on music NFTs often, but as well as gaming and DeFi and all those goods. So there should be a link in the YouTube district description for lads.city and come join us. We do airdrops. You can see here. We're going to have a chat rolling live throughout the show, dropping links, dropping the lads token, dropping some whale token. So with that, I would just like to thank everybody that is here in Lad City for coming to the show. We have really great guests, and it's mustache time. So IMT is our phenomenal musical guest for the evening, and I would like to welcome them to the stage.
Hey, thanks so much for having us. We're stoked to be here.
Really great to be here.
Stoked to have you. Something funny happened, and in the YouTube thumbnail, there is a little image of one of your guys' like logo, and I did not know that the T-shirt album I was trying to get, or the T-shirt music NFT I was trying to get, was from you guys back in the day when that first launched. I was there in Crypto Voxels, and one of those was what I was trying to scoop up.
Yeah, we were super excited about that drop. That was really fun to actually like put the music into a physical item and then be able to scan it with your phone to play. It's just something that hasn't really been done before. So glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah, super fascinating. Before we dive into all the cool crypto madness, if you guys just want to give a little background, maybe even start with just how you found your love for music. And from there, then maybe we can get into how you fell down the crypto rabbit hole. But I love getting some background. Just, everybody has a different road to their passions. And I think it's really interesting to hear about that.
Well, Matt and I have been lifelong musicians. So we started music way early. I think I started around 10 years old.
About the same for me, maybe third or fourth grade.
Yeah, and I picked up the trumpet around probably 12 years old, and I never put it down. It was just one of the loudest instruments in the band, and I love being one of the loudest people in the room. So
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
so yeah, I went through college and all that great stuff, and then made my way out here to China uh, with Matt to teach and help open the WIN program at Music University out here.
That is really interesting that you guys made your way to China to wind up teaching and spreading, musical knowledge. And I'd love to also hear somewhat about how that journey started. I myself started playing music young. I come from a musical family. My dad's been a musician for my whole life and pretty much his whole life. His mom taught piano and whatnot. And I play some saxophone, and it's been a while, so I'm rusty, but I do like to get on the mic. I work with another project called Cypher, and we're basically bringing hip hop NFTs to the blockchain. But let's hear about how you guys made your way to China.
Yeah, I mean, like like coming out to China was a really kind of long process. It started with us meeting, I don't know, what, 12 years ago, Matt?
Yeah, just about 12 years ago.
Yeah, so we met 12 years ago, and we hated each other when we first met. And about 8 years ago, we reconnected over Facebook. Had a few beers and became fast friends. This guy over here, he basically got an opportunity through one of his mentors to come out and start this program in China. And he posted on Facebook like, "Hey, I need a trombone professor to come on out and help me build this program." And so it was like, okay, well, I guess I'm a trombone player. I can teach, and he kind of brought me on board, and that's how we kind of made it out this way.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, if we didn't actually come out to China together, IMT Intro to Music Theory wouldn't exist at all.
Right. I mean, like we came out this way, and we came into town. It's like this is a city of what, 2 million people, 2.5 million people. We're in Haikou, Hainan province, China. And so we're like, yeah, it's gonna have a massive music scene. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff happening. And we're actually classically trained musicians. So being able to come out here is like, yeah, we're gonna play with the orchestra, we're gonna play in all this chamber music, we're gonna do some like band stuff on the side, play some funk, play some jazz. It's gonna be great. After spending about 2 years out here, just trying to find that musical scene, we realized it didn't really exist. And so Intro to Music Theory was born out of that like frustration of like not being able to perform. basically said, "Hey, let's just do something ourselves. We both really love like the funk disco house vibe, so let's put our horns to it and see where it goes."
Nice. I love to hear them horns getting put to work. Yeah, funk and horns and jazz and I like pretty much all kinds of music, but there's something about the horns. When that comes in on a funk track, I pretty much lose my shiz. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. That's crazy though to move to a city of millions of people and not really be able to find out a music scene. Yeah, so that's important that you guys are kind of driving it.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun doing that out here. I mean, like we both were super excited when we first got out here, and we kept thinking that, hey, we have to be meeting the wrong people, we have to be in the wrong spaces. Like we both spent a decade plus in LA, and so coming out here, we're like, okay, it's just it's about networking, it's about meeting the right people, it's about going to the gigs, and like after about 2 years, we just went, man, this just doesn't exist.
Wow, yeah, and even I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's a little bit tough to even get the visas and things like that to be able to move to China and be able to, have some kind of income and work and stuff. So was that pretty big barrier, or was it not too bad?
It wasn't really much of an issue for us, especially because we got hired by a pretty well-connected person, and we had both have master's degrees. So it was really easy to get connected for the music scene, although that can be pretty difficult.
So you have like a sponsor for your visas
Yeah,
through okay, cool. That's great. I mean, that's an awesome way to use an opportunity to be able to spread the love of music. And then tell me a little bit more about Intro to Music Theory and what you guys are doing.
well, Intro to Music Theory started as just basically a fun little project. We were both DJing quite a bit about 2.5 years ago, and we decided to just bring up our horns onto the bandstand. And, it was a huge hit from the get go. So at the beginning, were starting with like some progressive house vibes, and then and some tropical house vibes, and then we slowly started working our way into funk and disco, and that's when everything really hit. So before the whole coronavirus thing started, we were doing a lot of DJing, funk, disco, house. And then once we got, stuck in Thailand during our tour back in March of 2020, we hit back to LA for about, I think what was it,
Seven,
like
8 months.
7 or 8 months, and that's when we really started producing.
And basically, what happened then for us, like our music that's been coming out, has moved a little bit away from the funk vibe. It still has some of those elements, but like it's definitely more of a, I don't know, down tempo is not the right word, but definitely like a jazz fusion house type thing.
You're definitely gonna have to listen to this new album. It's so eclectic, and yeah, we still do have our funk roots represented in the album, but we're definitely exploring some new avenues and some new genres within this album.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this is like there's definitely the studio version, which we're putting out with this album, but there's also the live stuff that we've been doing, right?
Yeah,
And so like manipulating the live horns, doing the live looping, adding effects like in front of people when we're performing has been kind of a staple since we've started. And that's just continued to evolve. So we have, our APC 40s in front of us, just like everything mapped to different effects. And like while we're there, recording a loop or changing the solo effects, it completely changes the sound of what we're doing on our horns. It doesn't always sound like a trumpet. It doesn't always sound like a trombone. Sometimes it sounds like a guitar. Sometimes it's moving on to some interesting soundscapes that you haven't really heard before. So that's something we're excited to continue exploring.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear the album when it drops. I've heard just a few things from you guys, and I've loved everything I have heard. And it is funny because, I know of your guys' stuff more than I know personally you. So it's interesting to be making the connections kind of live with everybody as this show goes down, which kind of like first sparked earlier today when I was like, oh, wait a minute, I know those guys' music. Like I was trying to get some of that. And it's a trip because with coronavirus there's been, I think, a shift overall in the music scene, largely because gigs dried up. There wasn't the possibility to go play larger venues or even small venues. So it's been a very interesting time, I think, for the metaverse music scene, for NFT music scene, and the whole blockchain as well. Do you guys want to give a little bit of details on how you got into NFTs and blockchain?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like a lot of other musicians, we were doing a lot of live work prior to COVID. And we've been in the crypto scene for a while. I mean, like we remember when CryptoKitties, basically shut down the ETH blockchain,
Yeah.
back in the day. So we've been in the scene for a while, but it wasn't until COVID basically shut everything down on our side of the world that we really started going all in this space. We hooked up with an old friend of ours, Mango, who's the community manager at Charged Particles. He was like, "Hey guys, we're launching this new DApp coming up. We're looking for a future musician to help us launch everything and help us do these art drops." And so he's like, "Hey, do you want to perform?" And we're like, "Yes, absolutely, we want to perform." And so they brought us on for that first launch, where I think they sold a bunch of art there, and we've just continued doing that ever since. It's just been fantastic. This community has been so supportive. We're very excited to take a large role in their community over there, doing kind of spearheading some of the music stuff. And it's just like continued to expand from there. We're working on with some of our musicians that we work with on this side of the world to kind of get them into the NFT space. And it's just just snowballed. It's like, "Oh, hey, can you do this?" "Yes, absolutely." "Hey, can you do this?" "Yes, absolutely." And we just have kept going and going and going. And it's been really nice.
I love it. It's like meant to be. That's really cool that you guys were friends with Mango previously and then got back into Charged Particles. I'm a big fan of Charged Particles. Super dope. But I got a Lepton and stuff. And yeah, that was the launch where I heard you guys for the first time. And yeah, I do some Clubhouse stuffs with Ben. And yeah, it's another just really great project. And for anybody not that doesn't know what Charged Particles is basically an NFT DeFi project where you're able to take these NFTs. They could be with music, they could be, just a visual art piece, and you're able to then back it with tokens, and those can accrue interest. So that's like charging it, and you can get multipliers and all this really cool stuff. It goes a little deep, but it's very interesting and very cool. And I'm a big fan of what they're doing.
Well, especially for musicians, it opens up a lot of interesting avenues for things like social token drops, for things like rewarding collectors. Because with their idea where you can put other NFTs inside the NFT that you're minting, you can put other tokens inside the NFTs. Once they move to Polygon, right, it's going to be super cheap to do that. So you can do things like drop a Christmas card in an NFT that someone collected, and so there's a good chance to basically connect with your collectors in some ways that these other NFTs have trouble doing. So we're super stoked and super bullish on the Charged Particles.
Yeah, it's pretty advanced. Being able to make an NFT into a basket of other NFTs and tokens is definitely like pretty cutting edge. I love what they're doing, and I'm excited to be more active over there too. A lot of really fun events too. I think it's every 3 weeks or so there's a token smart charge particles event that goes down in crypto voxels and stuff. So I encourage people to go to those events as well and learn more about all the crazy stuff that you can do with NFTs and maybe collect some dope music or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the next drop that they're doing is their governance token, which would be on June 4th. So that's about a month off, but that's going to be a fantastic event, and there's a lot of really dope artists involved.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to be there. Yeah, I mean, so I kind of want to just give you guys the floor and let you tell us about, the different aspects, because I know, if you're over in China, you're kind of trying to help develop some of the both NFT and music scene over there, as well as, doing these drops with charged particles. And I'd love to just hear about more of the background behind what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we're super happy to dig into a lot of that. I mean, right now we're in a very interesting space because we're so busy with this with the album drop that's going to be coming up with the partners that we're working with. So on June 11th, we're dropping our album specifically in the NFT and the crypto space. We're not even dropping it in the typical distribution area until probably a month to a month and a half after that. We're that excited about this space. We're working with Charged Particles, Bit Trees, Token Smart, and some really other great partners for this drop. And that's kind of our big focus right now as far as that. So we're working with some dope artists. I think 10 different artists in the crypto space.
I'm sorry, we've got a hot mic. I will get
Pero
that whacked for
cámbiala.
you right
All good.
away.
La
No
frecuencia.
worries.
They are whacked. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Boom. Yeah, so we're really excited about that right now. That's our main focus. And then our next step is hopefully we're going to be doing a larger, like, musician focused event post that. We're still working on the date of that. And that's going to be with a lot of the artists that we're working with here in China and across the world to get them into the NFT space and basically saying, hey, you don't know anything about this. Here's how we can get you into it. Here's how NFTs can benefit you as a musician. And then, oh, hey, this is a way for you to connect directly with your fans. And so that's kind of what we're working on right now. Those are our two big focuses.
That's great. I think it's so awesome that you're going the route of releasing only in the metaverse first, or in the crypto NFT metaverse scene. I was just in, and I think it's come up multiple times in different discords or over in Clubhouse, and people are asking, maybe they're newer to the space and they're musicians. Well, how is this better? Like, maybe people think that, oh well, I have to replace what I'm doing with NFTs. No, you could drop some NFTs, have that be with some unlockable content that those people get to enjoy at first. Maybe it's for a couple weeks, they get some really cool art, they're able to support the artist, and then you can release it out to streaming platforms or whatever other avenues you want to do and get those couple pennies for the streams. But yes, I am very bullish on the crypto music space personally.
Yeah, and I think the thing that crypto does very well and the NFT space does very well is at this moment, it's not a replacement for your typical streaming platforms. You have great projects doing good stuff in this area, such as Audience, but at the same time, like royalties are not quite built out. What this space does very well is it does collectability very well. So if you have fans that are really into your music, you want to be targeting those fans. You don't want to sell 1,000 pieces. You don't want to sell 1,000 NFTs. You want to sell an NFT to the one collector that loves your music. Like, that's the target. And that's what a lot of musicians getting into the space don't understand quite yet. It's a direct connection between you and your fans versus replacing, 1,000 different iterations of, oh, hey, I want to release my song. Hey, go to iTunes and download it. We can't do that super well just yet. It's coming, but right now it's about collectability in my mind.
I think that's great advice. I hope any musicians listening take that to heart because there used to be more collectability in music because albums were minted on a run and sometimes they weren't minted otherwise. So it's not like it's just something totally wild and new. Collecting music has been here for a long time, and there was kind of more scarcity in some aspects, like with when everything was on records. And then we went to tapes, and anybody could pretty much get one, and then CDs, and then the whole torrenting started and all that, and then it was like everybody just wanted everything free. But there is, I think, a passion, especially for those bigger fans, to collect and to have ownership. And then if everybody gets to enjoy it streaming, then that's just another bonus. And there are, like you mentioned, Audius. There's some really interesting streaming platforms out there incorporating maybe crypto currency tokens and NFTs, and I think it is a move in the right direction. The royalties aspect is huge. So for if there's musicians out there hearing this for the first time, you can have royalties on an NFT that pay in perpetuity if it's on that platform. So where you minted it in that marketplace, most of them have royalties. Unfortunately, what we need is a standard across all the platforms because that doesn't exist yet. So we got some hiccups still. There's some bumps in the road, but I think it'll get there to where a music NFT, if you release a really great one and then you get popular, you might make more money off the secondary commissions than you did off that original sale.
Right, absolutely. And that's something we're super excited to see built out. And like you said, at the moment, we have some hiccups with that space, but people are working on it and I see it coming.
Awesome. And so do you guys have stuff up over on Audius?
We do actually. We're just getting our audience built out, but you can find us at Intro to Music Theory. So we have our last EP and some of the singles that we dropped over there. And very, very shortly, and this is something that I think we're going to be telling the public for the first time,
I know,
is we're going to be dropping a remix contest for one of our new tracks on the album, and then giving away a bunch of our social tokens and some other like really cool prizes, like a drop with both our record company and Dow Records for the winners of that. And then we're going to be announcing that at the album drop on June 11th. So we'll be doing a remix contest through Audius.
Boom. You heard it here. Alpha dropping in Lad City once again. Love it. That's so cool. Big shout out to Vandal and Dow Records. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm getting more and more hyped as the show goes on, and I was already super hyped to start. So that's dope. And yeah, you said it's intro to music at Audius. If you want to
Intro to
grab a
music
link,
theory.
intro to music theory. If you guys want to drop any links in the chat at all, feel free. I have like the Twitter and the Insta and the Discord, which maybe you want to talk a little bit about too. I haven't jumped over to the Discord yet, as mine is chock full, and I'm always playing musical Discord shares. Once you hit 100, you can't join more. So I'll get myself in there. I just got to do a little house cleaning in the old Discord. But yeah, I'd love to hear a little about what you guys are thinking about using the Discord community for with your project.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, right now we're working on a few different things. Obviously, Discord is quite young at the moment, but building out community in this space centered around the social token that we're working on. And the social token right now is not only going to be a social token for what we're doing, there's going to be some cool things built around it that we're not quite ready to talk about because, we just finally minted the contract. We just got the token vault moving. But suffice to say, it's going to be something that's a lot larger than a normal social token. So we'll get back to you on a lot of that. But for now, that's basically what it's going to be. We're going to be bringing more musicians in the space using that token for some of their drops. And then some other cool utility for musicians that haven't been built out in the crypto space quite yet.
Oh, you got me salivating. I mean, well, maybe we can shut down the stream and you just whisper it to my ear.
We'll talk after, but yeah, no. Suffice to say, it's going to be good to have some of that social token, and by RSVPing for the album drop, we're going to be giving away some special POAPs, and we're going to be giving away some of that token as well. And there's going to be some other ways, such as interacting during the live album drop on the 11th. That you can get June 11th, that you can get some of the token, and then beyond. So it's going to be mostly given out right now, not by an ICO or anything like that. Obviously, it's going to be given out specifically by interaction with the community, and like kind of trying to build up what we're doing in that space.
Man, soup. You guys have a very nice plan. I like it. I like where it's going. Yeah, Lad City has a token that we've been dropping a bunch of. You guys should probably be getting a little bit stacking up in your wallet. And I really like when people take a thoughtful approach to their social token and add value to it. Here in Lad City, we have different roles that you can acquire by holding a larger amount of token. And then, like, we have a couple poker games. We have a poker night for everybody that's in Lad City, and then there's one for, above certain roles. So you might have to hold a couple thousand to be able to enter that poker tournament where there's bigger prizes. And, for the liquidity providers, they get special extra drops and NFTs and get entered into cool contests. So, there's a lot of ways to do it with very interesting token gating, and there's lots of ways to get creative with rewards and keep people interactive. I think with a musical social token, like what you're talking about with being able to, get in even on, interactively during the music drop and stuff sounds really cool.
Yeah, we're very excited to see where it goes. And, like I said, we haven't said this yet. We just brought on a dev to help us build out some cool things. He'll be down with us here in Haikou in this next week. And there's going to be some really, really cool projects going on. But,
boom, boom, more alpha dropping on Easy Street. Awesome, man. This is so fun. I wish I had something queued up to play. I didn't even think about that. But I'm sure that people are going to be heading over to the Audius and checking that out. I highly recommend, guys. It's going to be a good Discord to get in, especially if you're a music lover. And yeah, I'm going to be heading over. I'm grabbing that Audius link to drop it again for peeps. And then yeah, I can't wait to check out the playlist that you guys have going over there. Let's see what other wild news you want to talk about.
Well, I think maybe kind of digging into, I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
Well, one big thing in the physical world that's happening right now is we're in the middle of renovating our studio. So in our office here, we're completely renovating our studio. So we're really excited to share the updated pics when that all starts coming through. So as soon as we're done with this show, we're gonna be back and doing some crazy construction, all done by us.
Whoa, you guys are building out the studio on your own?
Yep, with
That's
a
pretty
with a
cool.
with the help with a couple friends. But when you're out here in China, you got to do a lot of things yourself here.
Oh yeah, it already had slipped my mind that you guys are in China, and I'm sure very different just to do something like, build a studio. So, I'm sure it's probably a little different than just going down to your hardware store and picking up, the materials if you know how to do it yourself, or just calling up a contractor out of the, whatever, get a recommendation from a buddy. It's probably a little bit more legwork over there, finding everything you need, especially for, a studio. You may need some specific insulations and things like that. Are you guys able to get everything you need?
Yeah, it's a process for sure. I mean, out here, there's not many people who can really do what we need at a high level. I mean, we had one person, and this tends to be a typical story. They come down here, they live here in Hainan and in Haikou with all the coconuts, the beautiful tropical island, for like a year or two, and then they leave. So we had someone lined up. It was really going well, and then they left to Beijing. And so we're building out this entire thing ourselves. So it's like everything from researching exactly what works for our studio to buying all the stuff, all the sound insulation that we need from Alibaba, to the diffusers, to lining up all our speakers right. It's a process,
Yeah,
installing all the wood. Yeah,
operating all the power tools, and cutting everything down and measuring. So
doing all this in basically an office, right?
right. So we all love to be hands on over here.
Measure
Definitely.
twice, cut once, right?
Yes,
I think that's
sir.
the biggest rule.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, yeah. Go
it'll be
ahead.
so rewarding. It'll be so rewarding when it's finished and you guys have built that with your own two hands, and then be able to pump out epic music from there. So that's just really cool that you guys, are kind of having to do a different route, and then just kind of taking the responsibility on yourselves. I understand, I live part-time down in Costa Rica where my wife and kids are, and it's definitely a different work pace down there. And yeah, people might come down, gringos, and hang out for a while and kind of start things up. But I've had plenty of people that, came down and we're going to do stuff, and then they just kind of disappear.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We get it. And out here, it's even worse. The whole tropical island vibe ends up being it's very much laid back. So it's like, oh, I'll come when I feel like it. You end up doing like, okay, we're gonna be here at 10, and people don't show up until 11:30. So it ends up being super
Right.
hard and
If
super
they show
difficult for us
up.
to organize anything. Right, exactly. It's like, oh, I'm taking a nap. I'll be there later. What is later? I don't know.
The tropical mellow vibe is a blessing and a curse depending on what you're doing that day.
Absolutely, but I do have to say that the coconuts are definitely a plus.
Oh man, I love me some coconut water, coconut milk, coconut meat, coconut mango sticky rice. I bet you guys probably get some good
Ooh.
stuff like that, huh?
Yeah, we get
What
a bit of that. Yeah, we get a
what's
bit of that definitely.
what is the food scene over there? Is this some pretty nice like local delicatessen snacks?
So we get a lot of different foods around China out here, which is really great. But locally, the fruit is just amazing. So the pineapple,
The
and the
mango.
mango and the coconuts especially. Got to have a coconut a day to keep the doctor away.
Good call, good call. Yeah, tropical fruits, there's just nothing like it. Really, there isn't. I'm a big fan of tropical fruits. I've kind of been. I got bit by the travel bug when I was pretty young, doing some traveling and mostly in warm places.
Yeah, well the next time you pick up one of those coconuts, make sure you stream one of our tracks called "A Fast Boat to Cuba," and it'll get you in the mood.
Oh, that was the one I wanted. That was the one I wanted. Fast boat to Cuba. And I was like, I even put in the chat like, "Oh, I'm going to get this." And then like gas was insane. And so I was like, okay, leaving that open in the tab. And then, came back to it like a few days later when gas was better. But then I had spent some of the ETH on something else. And so then I was trying to save back up for it. And just, it was one of those things where like it just didn't quite happen. I was so close a couple times. But yeah, that was actually the one that caught my attention most at the launch show. And I loved it.
Well, if you dig that one, then keep your eyes out during our launch for a track called Ignite It and Run, because it's right in that same sort of vein, but a little bit more crazy.
Ooh, nice. I'm literally taking notes.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
so it's really great to be able to start building out the studio after the entire album's finished. It's perfect timing in order to start building that thing out.
Very nice. And then do you guys travel outside of China much? So are you mainland? Because I'm not familiar. You said the city, but I'm not real familiar with it.
No, we're not on the mainland. So if you look on the map, you know where Vietnam is. We're straight east of Vietnam and just south of one of the largest cities on earth called Guangzhou. And then Hong Kong is right there as well. So we're that little tiny island, and we live right on the north tip of that island called Hainan, and in the city called Haikou. So on the south we have Sanya, which is where everybody usually goes to take their beach pics and have those beach vacations. But we're up in kind of the more industrial city in downtown Haikou.
I'm saying
Cool.
Nifty Q saying, do you speak Chinese though? Yes, we do.
会一点点.
我会一点.
You got to be able to speak a little bit to get
Nice.
around. Yeah.
That's just a way to pay respect to the culture that you're visiting, is to learn a little bit of the language.
Course.
I think that's really important. So can you guys say like shout out Easy Street in Lads City in Chinese?
Shout out. It's so much fun as shout out.
加油.
Jiayo, I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. Jiayo, everybody in the Easy Street.
Jiayo literally means add oil.
So it's like, let's go, come on, keep going. It's like if someone's running and they're competing with something, they're trying to race, like jiayo, jiayo, jiayo. It literally means add oil. Yeah, it's good. It's like, keep going, you got this.
Trippy. So would add oil, is that actually taken from back in the times where you would use oil lamps? And so add oil would be like to keep the flame going or something like that?
I'm not
I
sure.
have no idea.
Yeah.
But if you go to the gas station and you want them to add gas, jiayo, and then it's just basically just another one of those colloquialisms out here. But
Yeah.
it definitely helps to be able to learn at least a bit of the language. It's a really difficult language, and it humbles us all the time. But especially out here where there's, we make up less than 1% of the population. You gotta be able to get your way around a little bit.
It looks like Llama 6666 has it in the chat. So talk to them about that. Add oil for cooking. Add oil for
Oh yeah.
get things going.
Yeah, cool. It's really fascinating to me. I've loved Eastern culture and been intrigued by it ever since I was little. And language is also interesting to me. So I just love kind of drilling down on these little things. And have heard of Guangzhou. I think I've seen maybe some kind of YouTube footage or something from there. So I kind of have a little bit of an idea of where you guys are at. So that's cool for me. Just I like to make those connections. Man, this has been just super fun talking with you guys. Is there anything? Oh, what I remember, I was going to ask, do you guys get to travel much? Like to do any type of tour? And I know you've been in over there for a number of years. So was maybe pre-COVID where you're getting to go and do some travel and maybe do some gigs in other places around in the East?
Yeah, so right before all that kicked off, we were actually in the middle of a tour of New Zealand, Australia, and Thailand. So we did about 4 weeks in New Zealand, sorry. So we did both the North and the South Island in New Zealand, and then that was also unfortunately during the time where there was large wildfires in Australia. So we had to cut out part of our Australian tour, and we headed straight over to Thailand. And we spent about 2 months in Thailand playing everywhere.
Yeah, it was supposed to be what, like a week for your birthday?
It's supposed to be a week for my birthday, but then a bunch of homies came down. We were partying and having a great time, and then China shut their borders, so we stayed for a bit, and then we head back to LA. And luckily, we got to play a few very socially distant drive-through shows in LA and in San Francisco area. And then once we came back here, it was pretty much off to the races. We traveled a bit through, some other cities to play. Um,
Yeah, we've done, obviously tours of China, but like we're working on hopefully post COVID, everyone's vaccinated, doing another Southeast Asian tour and hopefully getting over to Europe maybe next February, March. So we'll see how that plays out.
Sounds like a pretty nice roadmap. And then what is it like going around to different cities in China? Like what is the venue like? What's the vibe? Are they always big? Do you play small places? I guess I'm referring to pre-COVID. Well, I just don't know if it would be like the same thing going out here or if I just imagine things in China kind of being bigger because there's such a big population in those cities. But maybe I'm mistaken, so let me know.
Man, it's out here in Hainan. We play a bunch of beach parties. We've also done a bunch of pool parties. There's not really a lot of large clubs here, but we do definitely like the beach bar scene, and we love that scene out here. So it's been getting a lot more packed because a lot more people are traveling down here because they can't leave the country. But when we go to the mainland, man, the venues vary. We've played like huge bars and clubs.
I think the biggest place that we really love playing is Shanghai. I mean, we're involved in kind of the Dragon Burn community out here, which is the regional Burning Man event up that way. And so, like every time we go up to that city, just like seeing all of our friends, seeing the community up there is just so much fun. They always show up for us, and it's just another level. Like when we play other cities, yeah, it's great. We play some great clubs, but like Shanghai is just on another plane.
Yeah, you can ask Mango about that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice, nice. I've always wanted to go to Shanghai. I mean, I can, remember from being pretty young and reading, maybe like pirate books and stuff where it's mentioned, and just hopefully one day I'll get there. But yeah, I could see the music scene pretty hype and crazy in Shanghai. I think yeah, I would definitely enjoy the beach scene, listening to you guys play and just being in that kind of tropical beach vibe, drinking out of coconuts and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, we have something out here called Waimai Meituan that basically you can order any sort of food that you want, kind of like an Uber Eats type deal, except we use it for coconuts and rum to the pool or to the beach. They literally like will hand it to you in the pool. And so we're sitting there, pouring the rum in the coconuts and drinking it all up.
Damn, that is some service straight to the pool. Ooh, yeah, I'm a little jealous. It's actually, well, it's been pretty good weather here in Cali, but today I just out of the blue, it went from like a beautiful day yesterday to just freezing cold today. And like I said, I spent time down in Costa Rica. My blood is totally thinned out, so I can't handle the cold anymore. Maybe I'm getting old. I don't know.
Well, you're welcome to come out and enjoy the 95% humidity and the 90 weather we got right now.
Nice. Yeah. Anything else you guys think of that you wanna schmooze about?
I mean, not at the moment. I mean, right now, if you want to keep updated with us, check out our Twitter. It's Mustache Time, or jump on into our Discord. We're going to be dropping all of the information for our album launch pretty soon. Ways to earn IMT through, basically working with the community and being active in the community that we're building out. And we're just really excited to kind of make that event a real big thing. It's our premiere album launch. It's our sophomore release, and so that's the thing that we're really focused on right now. And we're very excited to see that happen.
So IMT is the ticker for the token as well?
Yes, so it's
Cool.
not it's titled the integrated music token. So if that gives you an idea of kind of where it's going, hint hint, nudge nudge.
I
Um,
like it.
yeah.
Awesome. Integrated music token. That sounds really cool. And you guys were saying you've just kind of got the contracts all worked out for that?
Yeah, so we basically just rolled it maybe a few weeks ago, and we're going to be placing everything in the token vault to do some regular releases to get some good tokenomics going, to make sure everyone feels good about it, and then we'll be announcing some other things shortly.
Very cool. Well, I definitely look forward to having you guys back over on Easy Street, maybe in, 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whenever is a good time when you've got kind of this big launch out and you've maybe finished up the studio. Maybe we could do something, and by then maybe we'll have it hooked up so we could even get some cameras rolling and get a view, a little tour of the studio, and hear some tunes or something.
That would be dope.
Yeah, we're super stoked about that.
Nice. Any other like shows or events that are coming up just in the next few the next, maybe, let's see, people wouldn't even remember past a few days, so maybe the rest of the week.
Nothing immediately for us. We're focused on articles and their events coming up, and then our album launch. That's pretty much where we're going right now.
Great. And I will mention to people, there was a great interview that I was able to catch snippets of because I was in the car. And was that the Matthew and Rizzle show where you guys were on? Is that right?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. Rizzle and Matt are really great about being great hosts. So we were excited to be there, and hopefully we'll be back on that one as well in a few weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend catching that. I've been meaning to go back and try and listen to the whole thing, but just been so swamped that I didn't get to. And I did know that you guys were coming on here, so I thought, it's fun sometimes to leave a bit of mystery and just kind of be learning along with the crowd, even though I have a couple little insights to what you guys are up to and stuff. Yeah, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm really looking forward to the drop that you got, the album coming up, the charged particles, and then getting over into your Discord. Remind me again the date that the big drop is coming on.
Big drop's going to be on June 11th. And like I said, there's going to be a bunch of posters, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff going out in socials, including our Discord, including our Twitter, and all the other typical social media platforms. So if you want to check us out, just follow us somewhere and you will see it. It's going to be everywhere in just about a week.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna drop the links here again. Thank you so much for coming and hanging. Thank you so much to all the lads that came and joined in with us and rocked the chat. And you know what I did? I think I asked if anybody had any questions for you guys, if that's okay. And then I wasn't paying attention to see if I got tagged. This would, I guess, be your last chance. If you have a specific question, tag Easy in Crypto and put it in the chat. And yeah, we'll see if anybody has any like really crazy cool question for you. But yeah, this has been a blast. What song should I listen to? Fast Boat to Cuba. Is that the title that I'm remembering?
That's the one you were digging. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend
That's a
checking
fun
out
one.
Fast Boat to Cuba. And the NFT, there was an NFT and a physical T-shirt that was a one of one that had the dopest design and images on it too. So definitely, follow those links that I threw down here in the chat. We'd love to have you back. Maybe by then the integrated music token will be out, and you can tell us all about that, and we can all grab some up wherever it's available. I assume probably over in the Discord would be a good place to start if you're interested in following along with this, and then of course following on Twitter, and go and check out the newly made not SoundCloud, Audius, brain fart playlist and over on Audius, you guys it's mustache time, or
On Audius, it's just /IMT. I'll drop it in the chat right now.
IMT. Okay. Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna actually grab that and put it with my other links that I have for you guys. So I have all the links in one spot. Awesome. I'm gonna just do like one last airdrop to wrap it up. And again, I really appreciate you guys coming by. And I know that the crowd had a great time. There's lots of good info, very interesting stuff, very cool what you guys are doing, and just kind of embarking out to the eastern side of the world to spread, especially the horns. I really just got to give you mad props. But yeah, to spread the music vibe, and man, just thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're super open to collaboration. So if any visual artists or any musicians out there would be interested in working with us on something, just send us a PM. PMs are always open for that type of thing. So, we'd love to continue building the community. And, thanks for having us on.
Great. Thank you so much, everybody. I think that's a wrap for Easy Street down in Lad City. So if you haven't yet, make sure to come over